Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak for December 30th, 2020. Yeah, it's like one day before New Year's Eve. It's like New Year's Eve, you know, or New Year's Eve squared, or New Year's Eve of New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? Some of you are partying it up right now. Maybe you're watching this show from where you are partying, you know? But yeah, a lot of people are partying it up for New Year's. One, because a lot of people are like, this is like the worst year we had in our lives, whatever the age group, you know? You could be 18, you could be 28, you could be 38, you could be 48, you could be 58. You're like saying to yourself, this is like the worst year in my life, you know, and it's probably true. Whether you're 18, 28, 38, 48, 58, 68, 78, 98, 88, you know what I'm saying? So, Happy New Year, right? Today is Happy Bacon Day. Oh, it's my one of my favorite foods, and I have to say that's not enough bacon. We need more bacon here. You know, put some more bacon. That's like first serving. You know, uh, you know, so it's like I could have like five of those, or maybe even 10 of those. You know, um, yeah, I love bacon. Bacon is like the best thing that was invented in the world. Oh, I love bacon. You know, especially like the crispy kind. You know, I mean, there is taste for like Canadian bacon or British bacon. They're like soft bacon. And you know, it's salty, kind of tastes good. It's kind of like, you know, it's nice to eat in the breakfast, even especially with like, baked tomato and um, what do you call that? Beans and in Scotland, haggis. Yeah, I like haggis. Scottish people. Hi, Scotland. So, yeah, so bacon is great. I love bacon, but I have to say I like soft bacon too, like British bacon and Canadian bacon. They're similar. I like them, but I have to say American bacon are the best. Because you have like really crispy bacon. It's like almost like a cookie. you know. Um, yeah, bacon's great. One of the things that I love to do is go to Golden Corral for breakfast and like put a whole plate full of bacon. I eat every single one. It's like over 30 bacon pieces. you know, it's cheaper to go to Golden Corral and eat bacon than like go to Food Lion or Giant Foods and buy packages of bacon because I think they have like 15 slices or something for like a few dollars, right? And you go to Gordon Corral, it's like you pay like $10. You could eat all you want. You could eat like three of those packages, in one sitting. Then their grits are good. They have cheese grits. Oh, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Just you like starve yourself for like dinner. Well, don't starve yourself, but I mean, you could eat, and then you could like not eat lunch and dinner. you know what I mean? It's like bears, like when they hibernate, they eat a lot. It's supposed to last them all winter, right? When they're hibernating, you know. But yeah, I love Gordon Corral. It's too bad it's closed because of COVID. I really miss Gordon Corral. And it's bacon and it's grits. They have good grits. So Gordon Corral is like a buffet place. I mean, I like their dinner buffet too. They have like nice steaks. It's all you can eat steaks. you can eat like 3, 4 pounds of steaks. Um, yeah, but I think I like their breakfast the best. Just because of the bacon. No, I mean they have the make yourself omelet. They have all kinds of stuff. But grits, their grits are great. Um, yeah, but yeah, today is Happy Bacon Day. Oh, my favorite food group, bacon. um, yeah, today is. Eve of New Year's Eve, and we celebrate bacon. you know, yeah. I thought I'll share some of my favorite moments in my life. Like you say, 2020 is like the worst thing that happened to you. You may be thinking that. So some of you are probably thinking about what is the happiest moment in my life or the best moment in my life. Um, I had a lot of good moments in my life. And I love the beach. You know what I mean? I love the beach. Um, I share beach photos with you, but I think like okay, maybe not the greatest moment. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but one of the greatest moments in my life, I have to confess, is the two Dutch women. They're like both 18 years old. They said they're 18, so I believe them. You know, there's no reason for me not to believe that they're 18. They look 18, right? Well, so they're from Holland. Two best friends. I don't know what it is. Like beautiful women attract beautiful women. Did you notice that? Like you see a beautiful woman and she's like, wait a minute, my best friend's coming. And she's like, she's more beautiful than her. And you're like, oh man, I should have like waited, because her best friend's more beautiful than she is. Because you started with the girl, it's you kind of at that point have to stick with that girl. you know. So I guess you don't have to stick with that girl, um, especially if you have like a buddy. Like if you have a buddy, like Ed Mosang is my best buddy from middle school, and we the two dudes we travel around the world, partying it up and having fun. So I share some of the photos from the two dudes having fun. Hey Ed, maybe I should be sharing this because he has like three daughters. I don't. And maybe he doesn't want his daughters to know about his dude days with Heerak, the dude. Sorry, Ed, if you wanted to keep that a secret from your daughters. Um, I mean, Amanda May Mosang is like my goddaughter, so yeah, truth will set you free, right? I mean, uh, yeah, your dad is really cool, Ed Mosang. Your dad is really cool. What can I say? So when I'm with Ed, we're the two dudes. But on this particular occasion, it was just me because I flew in from Cambridge, England. One summer. Because I was in Cambridge for like 5 years. So one summer I flew in. I said I gotta take a break from all this Jewish studies research. As you know, I'm an expert of Jewish studies. So I research at very high level Jewish studies and present papers at international academic conferences in Jewish studies. So I'm known around the world among Jewish experts. I could walk into any university in the world and say, I'm Heerak Christian Kim, and I'm welcome because of my expertise as a Jewish studies expert. People know me. The whole world connects, like Jewish studies world connects globally. So I could walk into any university in any country, and I have carte blanche. I have an in just because of who I am. Yeah. It's like a publish or perish, thing in academia, and I publish a lot. So you can Google my name, Heerak Christian Kim, on Amazon.com. You can see all the important books I published in Jewish studies. So wherever I go in the world, I'm welcome, right? So including Holland, where these two women are from. I could go to any university in Holland and walk into a Jewish studies program or department and say, hey, I'm Heerak Christian Kim. I'm immediately welcomed. Yeah, I have already. That's membership has its privileges. Being a member of elite societies of Jewish studies, it has privileges. What can I say? I'm like within 50-mile radius of Washington D.C. You'll be hard pressed to find an expert in Jewish studies who matches me. Like as far as I can see, most experts of Jewish studies within 50 miles radius in here from Washington D.C. are inferior to me. I say this publicly on record. Hey, if you want to contest it, talk to me, email me. You have my email account, and our membership. I'm a member of Association for Jewish Studies. I'm a member of like many societies of Jewish studies. Hey, if you disagree with me, email me. If you're upset teaching Jewish studies at George Washington University or Georgetown University or Johns Hopkins University or what's within 50-mile radius from here? Maybe Johns Hopkins is not within 50 miles. University of Maryland, College Park, American University, George Mason University. Hey, if you think you're better than me, email me. Hey, let's duke it out. Hey, I'm confident I'm better than all the Jewish experts within 50-mile radius. I have no doubt. you know, I am one of the leading experts in Jewish studies in the world. What do you think that means? Given 50-mile radius, like there's no one who matches my skill in Jewish studies. That's what it means. Why do you think I get invited from around the world to give my paper on Jewish studies? That's how good I am. Yeah, I'm like confident, like there's nobody within 50-mile radius from Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, who matches my expertise in Jewish studies. I mean, if you disagree and you're teaching at George Mason University or Georgetown University or a Catholic University in Washington, D.C., or, American University or George Washington University or University of Maryland College Park, email me. You have my membership. You just go to like American Association for Jewish Studies, AJS, you type in Heerak Christian Kim, you get my email address, in the membership list, email me and say, hey, what are you talking about? I mean, geez, I'm just stating a fact here. Yeah, what can you say? I am one of the leading experts in Jewish studies, it's just a fact, it's a fact. I mean, just in the year 2019, I gave a paper at the annual conference of Association for Jewish Studies, which is like the association for professors who teach Jewish studies in European universities. I was invited, I gave a paper at University of Warsaw, which is the Harvard of Poland, And the same year, so that was in August, in September of 2019, I went and presented a paper at Liverpool Hope University in Liverpool, England, at the annual conference of British New Testament Society, which is made up of all the professors who teach New Testament in England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Every single professor teaches New Testament, and they're all experts of Jewish studies because to teach Jewish study in New Testament, you have to know Jewish studies, and by definition. But also in Europe, professors of New Testament generally teach Jewish studies anyway. They have like they teach that as part of their courses that they teach, and they research and publish on that. So, I mean, in 1 year, I presented at two most important conferences in Jewish studies. One is the most important conference in Britain, United Kingdom. One is European nationwide. I mean, I'm like a known name among European experts and American experts. Yeah, so I'm not lying here, whichever university they end up going to, I think they were like seniors in high school, but European high schools have like 13 years. So 13th grade is like freshmen in college, and they're over 18, so they're adults. So I make no apologies for dating adults who are 18, I mean, geez, you should have graduated from high school when you were 17. That's how I think, I mean, if you're 18, you're an adult, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in high school or you're in college, you're adult is an adult. Or if you're a high school dropout, 18 is 18, I mean, some people flunk high school several years and they graduate when they're 20. Does that mean they're not an adult at 18? Of course they're an adult. I mean, geez. Yeah, so I mean, they were technically like, well, I think they graduated from high school. I think that's what they said. Yeah. So anyway, they're 18, So I make no apologies, If I fall in love with an 18-year-old girl who's beautiful like that, I have no problem marrying her like on the spot. I should have probably proposed to one of them. But anyway, I mean, they're like really, look at them. They're both like really beautiful. My gosh. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, geez. Like there were guys around the beach that were afraid to like even come close to these women. It's not my fault if they don't want to talk to beautiful women. I like talking to beautiful women. So, hey, I mean, I'm happy to spend time, with two beautiful women who are taller than me. They're like, geez, they're like both Barbie dolls, right? Look at that. Look how beautiful they are. They're like both like over 6 feet. I mean, geez, they're like perfect. You know, look at that. So I have to say that day was one of the happiest days in my life. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I may die of COVID, Who knows? I mean, you may die of COVID. I'm not gonna lie to you. That day was a very happy day for me. It was a very, very happy day for many, many hours. I was very happy. Yeah. Two beautiful women like that. Geez, they're like beautiful and they're like, nice and yeah, like, geez, they're like dream girls, by any standard. All to myself, what can I say? Like women like to travel like with their best friend. I like to travel with my best friend too, but Ed's like married, so he's happy with his Karen, um, who was a teacher at Fairfax County Public School, teaching elementary school kids for many, many years. So some of you watching in Fairfax County may have had your children taught by Karen Nettleton, who's now Karen Mosang. You know, but yeah, I mean, I can't help it if beautiful women like me want to spend time with me. I can't help it. I thank God in heaven. Thank you, Lord. I'm not married yet. Obviously, ideally, I marry somebody like that. I mean, they're like too old now, but um, you know, but when like, I mean, no matter how beautiful you are, like they're really beautiful there. If you get old, you start not being as beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's just, no offense to anyone, but it's like that in life, right? Thank God women don't go for, their most important thing is not the looks, right? Women are not superficial like men, but men are. And I'm a man, so I'm superficial. What can I say? Like 99.9% of men are superficial. There's men marry for looks. What can Um, yeah, what can I say? They're too old for me now. But yeah, but because the best age group for women to for you to marry women are like 18 to 24. That's like the perfect age group to marry for a woman. Um, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, obviously, when you fall in love, you fall in love. It doesn't matter, how old you are or how you look and stuff like that. If you fall in love, but you know, uh, you know, uh, most men want to fall in love with women who look like that and get married to them and spend the rest of life with them. They're like the dream girls. I had a lot of men dream about women like that. I I don't just dream. Why just dream in a fantasy world when it can become a reality? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just uh, I mean, there are beautiful women in the world. But anyway, bye, you guys. No offense to you guys. Hopefully, you're married to beautiful. I actually have their contact information. Maybe I'll call them up or email them and find out where they are right now. I was like, they're probably married Dutch guys and have a lot of beautiful Dutch children now by now. But yeah. Hi, Holland. I love you, Holland, especially your women. Very beautiful women. Um, yeah, see, I told you like beautiful women come in pairs, right? Um, yeah, and so after the beautiful Dutch women left, I was again alone. But thankfully, there are two Swedish women. Um, you see on the left, who took their place. So I forgot. I think it was like Hilga and I and Neil, Hilda and what was the other name? It was a while ago, but they're pretty too. You know, they're from Sweden. We're from Sweden. I can't do the Swedish accent, but yeah. So it was on the same, trip. But because people, it's a vacation, so they fly in, they have their vacation, they fly out. And then you're like, oh, bye. And then you're alone again. You're like, hi, Sweden. But anyway, yeah, yeah. Life is life. I miss the beach. I wish I were. This is the time. New Year's is tomorrow. I should be like flying into some Caribbean island like Saint Martin or Martinique, and swimming and having fun. I didn't even know they were open, but I guess they are. Um, but look, I think I have tears in my eyes. But I'm not married. That's why. Obviously, once I'm married, my whole life is devoted to my wife. Um, and then we age together. Hopefully she ages well. There are women who age really well. They're really attractive. Decades later. So hopefully, my wife will turn out to be like that. Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, what I'm saying is coming true. A lot of Americans are dying, and the death rate is increasing. So right now, the death rate for COVID is at 4,046 people in 24 hours. Can you believe that? It's gone up like 1,000 more. So 4,046 people have died. Maybe we'll go to 5,000 tomorrow. I don't know. Um, so the death rate now is at 341,964. The total cases are at 19,722,442 cases. See that? And so I thought, since so many Americans are dying, maybe we should do top 5 cases in America. Do you like the Arabic music in the back? I love Arabic music. It's nice to dance to. Even like traditional Arabic music. And the Arabic culture, I like Arabic culture. A lot of Europeans, they love Arabic culture. It's a beautiful culture, many years. Music, art, the calligraphy, buildings, architecture. It's wonderful culture. Hamza. Yeah, so yeah, California, you have like top 5. California is number 1. Look at that, death rate is 1%. So, I mean, it's a pretty low percentage of death, but because they have so many cases, they have like high death rate, death numbers, 25,047. Their ICUs are packed now, right? So probably the number of death will like explode in California. Because if you don't have ICUs, I mean, people are going to die. I mean, they need ICU. There's no ICU, people are going to die, right? So California's death numbers will explode in January, and you will see the percentage go up to 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%. You're going to see that, which is unfortunate. But so far, 25,047 have died in California. Texas is number 2. They have less cases, right? 1,748,927 cases. But because they have 2% death rate, they have 27,600. So it's more than California. Nothing like refreshing Coke. This music is really good. Good stuff. So Texas has 27,600 deaths. I mean, these are, and Texas ICUs are almost full. And once it's full, I mean, the death rate is going to go up significantly higher. There will be explosion of death. So that's something to worry about in Texas. Florida has less cases than Texas, 1,306,123, but a 2% death rate, 21,546. New York is number 4, but most of its deaths are from April 2020, which should worry New Yorkers because April 2021 is coming. So New York has 963,390 cases, 4% death rate. I mean, it used to be over 10%, but because of the summer, death rate has come down. 37,840 people have died. Illinois is number 5. And it's catching up. 955,380 cases, 17,811 people have died, 2% death rate. Hey, have you dated a girl who looks like that? Oh man, there are a lot of beautiful women around the world. One of the things that I like to do around the world is get to know a local person, whenever I travel. Yeah, that's always nice, you learn about the culture, you learn about, dating or mating rituals, culture. Although there are some cultures you gotta be careful about, but careful, But yeah, but I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, people are nice. And like in vacation spots, it's generally fairly, nice. Yeah. Yeah, if a woman is that beautiful, you gotta talk to her, I don't understand like why you wouldn't talk to a girl who's that beautiful. It's like, thank you, Lord, for creating a woman that beautiful. Geez, it's like, you know what I'm saying? My gosh, I mean, praise the Lord. It's like her beauty is your handiwork. You're an artiste. Jeez, I mean, it's God's creation. So I praise the Lord. I'm like, whoa, somebody that beautiful. Wow, praise the Lord. God has created somebody that beautiful. I mean, in all of your life, have you met somebody that beautiful, like in person? I have, like many of them. So, I've known a lot of beautiful women in my life. Yeah, I don't know why beautiful women like me. I don't understand it. But I'm not going to complain because I think it's a good thing that they like me. I think look at that smile. Look at the smile she's giving me. Oh my gosh. Doesn't that melt your heart? Oh, but anyway. Oh, happy memories, what can I say? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of sadness here in America. There's sadness in Latin America. There's so many Latinos are dying, especially in Mexico and Brazil. I mean, geez, Brazil has so many people dying. Mexico has so many people dying. So it's sadness, But they're foreigners, right? But we in America have Latino Americans who are dying in large numbers. So yes, I care about the Latinos in like Brazil and Mexico who are Brazilian citizens and Mexican citizens. But I'm an American citizen. I've immigrated from Korea. And like it hurts me more to see like Mexican Americans die and Brazilian Americans die, because they're fellow American citizens, Um, so right now, the saddest tragedy in America, Latinos are numero uno, number one for COVID-19 death. It is so, so sad, what's happening among Latinos all over 50 states. It's really, really sad. Um, Arabic music, ooh, nice. Do you see how nice that is? Arabic music has a distinctive tune, you hear it in the background, right? It's very, very, as you know, I'm a multicultural person. I like different cultures. I appreciate different cultural music. You know, uh, I've known Arabic women who are very attractive. Um, I mean, there's beauty in every woman. God gave beauty to every culture, every race, every ethnic group. It's amazing. I've known some black women, like personally, obviously, who are amazingly beautiful. Um, yeah, I don't know if I told you, when I was at Virginia State University, I'm a doctoral student at Virginia State University for administration. I don't know if I told you this, but yeah, I told you this if you're watching my show. And when I was at Virginia State University, which is HBCU, historically black colleges and universities, um, I dated. I mean, I was like the only non-black person there, like for miles. And there are some really beautiful black women. So I asked them out. Why can I? They're attractive. They're beautiful. What can I say? So I asked this one beautiful woman out. She was a senior education major. Special education was her major. So she was like 21. Maybe she was 20. And she said yes. Yeah. What can I say? She was like number one honor student at Virginia State University in the Bachelor of Education program. Like out of all the Bachelor of Education program students who are studying to be teachers, she was like the smartest. And she happened to be like the prettiest. But the two are not mutually exclusive. Sometimes the smartest women are the prettiest women. I mean, geez, what do you think? Like smartest women are like, ugly or nerdy? No, it's not always like that. Sometimes smartest women are like the most beautiful women. Yeah, I mean, I could say that, confidently because I've dated a lot of women who are really smart and really beautiful. Um, so it was like this with this girl. She's an immigrant. So I shared this with you, but I'll share it again. So she she is an immigrant from Sierra Leone. So like all her family Sierra Leone. Her mother is a big shot nurse. Like she's a big shot nurse in Richmond, Virginia area. Like like one of the really important nurses. Um, and her father is a businessman, and they're all immigrants. Like her mother and father immigrated from Sierra Leone, and she was, I think, born in America. Like like Well, she might have come to America like after a couple months or something. Like she's practically born in America. And then she decided to become a teacher. So most of her family relatives are either teachers or nurses, like the women in her family. I think that's what she was saying. So she was saying she's a special education teacher. So she was a senior. So I met her in her last semester. She graduated a semester early. So she graduated in December uh, instead of May. She graduated one semester early. So I met her in the fall, and I was like, wow, she's pretty. I started talking. I didn't even know she was the smartest girl in the school. I just asked her out because she was really pretty. I'm superficial. What can I say? All the guys are superficial. 99.9% of the guys are superficial. I didn't know she was a brain. I knew she was pretty because I could see it with my eyes. So I asked her out. And then I found out later she's like the smartest girl in the program, in their graduating class. So she's so good. She's such a kind-hearted girl. I mean, she's like a woman, obviously. She's like 20 or 21. Um, I think she was 20. But anyway, she goes every summer to Sierra Leone, her country, and she runs like summer camp. Yeah, she works with like an elementary school there. She's such a good girl. She's a good, nice-hearted woman who is in touch with her past and her, like she didn't grow up in Sierra Leone, but she has a heart for Sierra Leone. She's like a whole package in a way. So so she so I took her out to dinner at the Cheesecake Factory, and we had a good time. She started teaching at Henrico School District for special education she graduated a semester early. It was kind of difficult for her. And she was telling me, should I just do like substitute teaching? I'm like, no way, Jose. You're smart, and you at student teaching, you did really well. Why don't you apply for a job for one semester? Because sometimes some teachers get pregnant, like special education teachers get pregnant, and they're on maternity leave of absence, so they need somebody to come in and teach, like you know or and some teachers retire like in December because you know not all teachers retire in May. So I said, why don't you put in an application to be a special education teacher, not a substitute? Because kids abuse substitute teachers, And I'm like, you're like really qualified. You got your bachelor's in education. You have your license as a teacher. Apply for, or you're gonna get the license as a teacher. So apply for a special education teacher. So she listened to me and she got a job. I'm not surprised. She's smart. I mean, sometimes you need to encourage these women. Yeah, guys too, I guess. But I'm not. Guys could find the girl to encourage them. But like sometimes you gotta encourage the women. Because they're like smart, but they don't, they don't know how smart they are. Or they don't know how good they are, and you kind of have to, kind of show them. Like I don't know why she would doubt herself. Like I don't know why she thinks like she's only good enough to be a substitute teacher when she's so good. So I had to like explain to her, and then I encourage her, and then she finally listened, and then she got a job. She was so excited. Um, but her ultimate dream. This was when I was teaching at Petersburg City Public Schools as an eighth grade math teacher, and you know, uh, doing a doctoral program at Virginia State University at the same time in administration. Um, and she's like, my goal is to go up to Saint Prince George County Public Schools because I guess apparently many of her relatives live in this area. you know, like Prince George County, Montgomery County, and I guess like Arlington and Fairfax. Um, so she was planning to come up here to be a teacher. So she was applying, maybe she's here now. Life is so fast. I have her phone number. Maybe I should call her up. Because people rarely change their cell phone number because they have like all the contacts and stuff like that. So maybe I should call her up. Maybe she's like here in Arlington, And she's like what now? 23 or so, 20. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a while. She'd be like, why haven't like? I don't know what she'll say. Yeah, but anyway, but yeah, she's pretty, and she said like her relatives in this area are either female relatives, are either nurses or teachers. I guess it's kind of interesting, Yeah. Maybe I know her relatives. Maybe her relatives know me, but they're not telling me that they're cousins with her. Or yeah, I don't know. Maybe both of us don't know that we are kind of we know her. You know what I'm saying? World is a small place, you know. You'll be like, oh, you're her relative, you're her cousin. Oh, life is like interesting. I always wondered, at Georgetown University, there's a girl, Saina Musa. She was our class representative for 2 years. She's amazingly smart, and she went to that all girls HBCU college in Georgia. What's that name? One of my friends teaches there, Nami Kim. She did her PhD at Harvard, doctorate in theology at Harvard. Uh, and she was the president of Harvard Divinity School Korean Society. I was a member of that. Yeah, I've been around. And so she became the first Korean professor at this all women's HBCU, Historical Black Colleges and University, Nami Kim. And what's the name of the college? It's not, there's an all male college and all women's college in Atlanta, Georgia. It's like the most famous HBCUs, both of them, all women's or men's. And so I asked Saina Musa, I said, do you know Nami Kim? And she's like, yeah, she's a professor at my college. Isn't that a small world? Because I was with Nami Kim at Harvard, Harvard, you know. I told you I'm an expert of Jews. I learned from the top experts of Jews at Harvard. Harvard. I was like #1 in Jewish studies at Harvard among all the students doing expertise at Harvard. I mean, geez, I was like the best of the best. I kid you not. What do you think? I go to Harvard with all the PhD students in Jewish studies at Harvard, and I beat them. I'm a legend. I mean, geez, university after university, I'm a legend. You go to Harvard, they still talk about me because I'm a legend at Harvard. Yes. What do you think? When I say I am one of the best experts in Jewish studies, what do you think I'm saying? You think I'm like joking? No, I'm time tested. I went to Harvard and beat all the top experts of Jewish studies who are doing their PhD there. Yeah. I mean, geez, I have a proven record of being the best. You think I'm joking, right? I mean, geez, ask Nami. Nami's not an expert of Jewish studies per se. Her expertise is more historical theology and systematic theology, but so her doctorate was more in the theology realm, not Jewish studies. Yeah, but I was part of the Korean Society when she was the president, so so she knows how good I am. My reputation. Just call me Heerak Jewish Studies Expert Kim. I'm telling you, man, those top Jewish expert PhD students who are teaching in top universities in America right now, with their Harvard PhDs, they were so upset that I'm better than them. I had one seminar. It was Talmud and Mishnah. I had it at Harvard. It was like rabbinic texts. It was a PhD seminar at Harvard, and I was like, I looked around the room, and everybody's like wearing kippah. All the guys are wearing kippah, like a little beanie hat. They're all like Orthodox Jews, and some of them are like wearing black outfit, like those. They have the earring, they're like those, and they're like brilliant, like the best of the best in the Jewish world, doing PhD in Jewish studies at Harvard. I'm in the seminar on the Talmud, and I asked the guys next to me, how long have you studied this stuff? They said, I started studying this thing like ever since I was little, like Talmud. I'm like, say what? You read Aramaic and stuff like that since you're little? Yeah, they're like, yeah. And I remember reading The Chosen. It's by Chaim Potok. It's a Jewish writer in Philadelphia. You should read the book, The Chosen, if you haven't. Chaim Potok wrote it, and Akiva Potok actually went to University of Pennsylvania. Was good friends with my good friend Eugene Zeiser, who they're like buddies. And Akiva Putak went into filming. Not didn't really follow his dad's footsteps, so it was like a film studies kind of thing person. Um, but Chaim Putak, he wrote the book The Chosen. There's a movie out. It's an old movie, but it's definitely worth seeing. And it talks about how the Jewish world is and really conservative Jewish world. And if you read that, you can understand the kind of guys who were doing PhD at Harvard. They're like geniuses who studied Jewish texts since they're little. Yeah. And they came to this PhD seminar at Harvard, and I'm looking around, all the guys are wearing kippah, and like I asked, talk to them. I said like, and they're like, yeah, I spent 2 years in Jerusalem studying in yeshiva, studying this thing, Talmud. I'm like, say what? Say what? I'm like, geez, but you know me, I'm like, hey, I, I'm an expert of Jewish studies, and let's see, what happens. I studied extra hard for that seminar, I have to confess. But so Professor Isaiah Gaffney taught that course, and he's like one of the world's experts, leading experts on Talmudic literature. There are several, okay, and I know them all basically. Isaiah Gaffney, the best at Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and he's like adjunct professor at Harvard. And there is a German guy who's a professor at Princeton, and I meet him. I see him in academic circles. We run in the same circles. And then there's Lawrence Schiffman at New York University. And then Shaya Cohen, who teaches at Harvard, who's an expert of Jewish studies. He used to be the department of the chair of the Jewish studies at Jewish Theological Seminary in Columbia University. Was joint professorship at Jewish Theological Seminary, training rabbis in the conservative tradition. Many rabbis were trained by him, and taught at Columbia. And then he was a chairman of the Jewish Studies department at Brown, and then he went to Harvard. He's a professor of Jewish Studies at Harvard, so he's one of the top experts there. I know these people personally, yeah, by first name basis. When I say I'm a leading expert of Jews in the world, I mean that. I'm not joking around here. When I say there is no expert 50 miles from Washington, D.C. who can come match my skill, I'm not joking. I'm being literal. It's not figurative, it's literal. As I say, I'm a member of Association for Jewish Studies. If you disagree with me, email me, call me. All my contact details there, my phone number, email, and the membership directory for Association for Jewish Studies. Hey, if you don't think I overstep my boundaries, email me. I'm saying things that are factual. Hey, publication, publish or perish. I have the publications to back me up. What can I say? I'm an alpha in Jewish studies. What can I say? I'm working on my next magnum opus. And a lot of people are like looking, anticipating. Some of them are like hoping I'll give away like some of my key points at academic conferences. That's why they keep inviting me. They want me to give away stuff, information on my magnum opus next book that's coming out on Jewish studies. Yeah. But anywho, now let's go back to the articles. First article, hellish COVID deaths have struck younger Latinos. Here's the economic social fallout, okay, by Suzanne Gamboa, NBC News. As of December 23rd, we're December 30th, so just 7 days ago, COVID-19 had killed more than 54,000 Latinos. Can you believe that? 54,000 Latinos in America have died from COVID-19. Oh my goodness. What the hey? What the hey? According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, COVID tracking, but 54,000 Latinos in America have died already. Oh my gosh, geez. which acknowledge that its numbers are incomplete. Oh my gosh, it means more than 54,000. 54,000 Latinos are the ones they have record of. I mean, like, it's incomplete. It's more than that. An even more shocking truth is that COVID-19 has killed greater shares of the younger members of the Latino. Young Latinos are dying more than older Latinos than other groups, according to states' race and ethnicity numbers. Latinos have the greatest share of death in age groups under 54. Jeez. According to CDC, Center for Disease Control data, while among whites, the greatest share of death has occurred in age groups over 65. Among 35 to 44, 48.9% who died were Latinos. Oh my goodness. Like, can you believe that? Among the people who died between age 35, which is young, right? Age 35 to 44, that's like some people are not even married at 35. Obviously, you should get married between 18 to 24. Now you have a greater reason to get married at 18 to 24 because you may die of COVID by 35. 48.9%, 50% of all Americans who died between age group 35 and 44 are Latinos. Jeez, can you believe that? That's shocking. The second article. Doctors explain why younger Latinos are contracting COVID-19 in Sonoma County. This is by Kate Larson, ABC 7 News. Throughout California, Latinos account for 56% of COVID-19 cases. Oh my gosh. And 47% of the death. Nearly 50% of all who are dying in California are Latinos. Can you believe that? That is absolutely shocking. Did you know that? Now you know. Aren't you glad you're watching this show? If you didn't see this show, you would not know. COVID-19 update by Heerak. Yeah, don't believe the liberal media. They don't give you all the facts. Right? You can watch CNN all you want. You know, do you get like important facts like this? Especially if you're Latino between 35 to 44. This is a very important fact. You know, I march for your life, Latinos. Yeah. Yeah, nearly 50% of death are Latinos, which is disproportionately high compared to the population share of Latinos, which is 39%. But in Sonoma County, the numbers tell a different story. Latinos currently account for 67% of the country's coronavirus cases, counties, Sonoma counties, but 24% of the death, which is actually in line with the 27% of the share of the local population. Interesting. Kate Peck of Sonoma County Department of Health Services epidemiology team say the country's counties, essential workers, many of whom are Latino, explain the numbers. Because Latinos are essential workers, they have greater chance of getting COVID. Our workforce, 18 to 49-year-old age, that's where we've seen the disproportionate number of cases. Obviously, if you deal with a lot of people, you have higher chance of getting COVID. You know, if you're a bus driver, if you work in a grocery store, you know, these are very dangerous jobs, you know, because you're encountering a lot of people. So you got to invest in like a really good quality respirator. Hopefully your employer will buy it for you. But if not, you should get one for yourself. I mean, geez, you know, you got to guard your own life, you know. I march for your life. So I hope that your employers will get you the mask that you need, the respirators you need. Number 3, COVID-19 causes increased anxiety, depression, Latinos, and Hispanic communities. Of course, if 50% of people dying in California are Latino, wouldn't you have anxiety too? If you're Latino, I mean, geez. If they say 50% of all dying in Los Angeles are Koreans, I'm sure all the Koreans would have anxiety. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. Yeah, Tanika Hughes, Extra News Jax. It's Jax. It's Jacksonville in Florida. So we have like sample from every like Texas, California, and Florida, like, and also nationally. 40% of Latino people report anxiety or depression. That's less than the people who are dying. 47% of all Californians are dying are Latino. It's surprising that only 40% of the Latinos have anxiety when 47% are dying. It's 47 of all California deaths are, Latino. I mean, you would think that anxiety is much higher among Latino, you know? Dr. Rose Zacchio is a licensed psychologist in Jacksonville, Jacksonville, Florida. The Latino population has just been really hit with COVID illness and death. That's the tragedy. We're going to have so many Latinos die in January because as death numbers go up, if the rate of death is 47, 4,000 people dying, 40, let's say 50% of the people who die are Latino, the 2,000 people who are dying are Latinos. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, I haven't done the study of the 4,000 who died in the last 24 hours. It's very recent, but somebody should do the study, especially like Latino caucus in Congress, in Capitol Hill. What good is a Latino caucus if they don't do these kind of studies? Because look at Latinos are dying in large numbers. What good is a Latino caucus if they don't do the study of how many Latinos are dying every day? I mean, if I were a Latino in a Latino caucus in Congress, that'll be priority number one to make sure like we know exactly what's going on to save Latino lives. What good is a Latino caucus in Congress if they're not trying to save Latino lives? You know what I'm saying? So the Latino population has just been really hit with COVID illness and death. The severity of the illness as well as economic hardship related to challenges presented by COVID are the people losing their jobs or, having to work under difficult circumstances like essential workers. So the idea is that because Latinos work, in essential worker jobs like police officers, firemen, bus drivers, nurses, doctors, essential workers, right? Respiratory therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists. They're dying in large numbers. That's what it's saying, like essential workers. Yeah, there are a lot of Latino doctors who died. There are a lot of news on that too. It's really sad. A lot of Latino nurses too. Very, very sad. Yeah, but yeah, if you're Latino American, you need to obviously keep up with the news. Especially if you're, 35 to 44. I know, not just 35 to 44 because it's happening in every age group in Latino. You have to be careful because you may end up dead. It's really sad right now. Yeah, it's really sad. 50% of all Californians who die are Latinos. If you're Latino, you gotta demand that they close schools down. One of the racisms that you may encounter is because a lot of Latinos are dying. Some races may want schools open, like New York public schools. They want it open because that will kill a lot of Latinos off. I mean, you may not think that people are that evil, but there are people that are evil. You know what I'm saying? People want to keep the schools open because they see like so many people who are dying are Latinos. So, obviously I care about Latinos, and that's why I'm sharing this. And as you know, I worked hard in Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County, closed down public schools to save lives of Latinos. Virginia's 8th district, the greatest minority is Latino. Did you know that? We have more Latinos than Blacks, Asians combined. Yeah, Latinos, large population in Virginia 8th District. I didn't want Latinos to die. I like Latinos. So I worked hard to close the schools down to save lives of, save lives of everyone, but especially Latinos, because a lot of Latinos are dying. And I succeeded, right? Closed down Arlington County, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County Public Schools. And so we don't have that many Latino deaths in this area because I closed down the school. School is where a lot of infections happen. So kids get infected, some of them die, but they carry the virus back home to their Latino family. They can get infected and die. That's happening all over. So in certain areas, they want the school open. Like California, a lot of school districts are open. And that's how, you have 47% of all death is Latino. The kids go to school, get COVID, they're asymptomatic. They may not show fever or whatever, come home, infect their parents, and their parents die. Why do you think I tried to close down schools? Because I know this is happening. I knew this would happen. So I'm trying to save Latino lives. I mean, if you are Latino, you should help your community by trying to close down schools, for God's sake. I mean, look, 50% of the people are dying in LA. I mean, if you close down schools in LA, San Francisco, San Diego, you know how many Latinos would not have died? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to save your life. I'm marching for your life, Latinos. I mean, you have to do your part. Listen to Heerak's recommendation. Close down the schools. Do you want to live or die? I mean, for God's sake, this is a global pandemic. Education is not as important as you living. You know what I'm saying? But, your children can learn at home. Safe for you, safe for your children, safe for everybody. So, yeah. Yeah. Nice Arabic music, though. It makes you think. Like Arabic music makes you think. You know what I mean? Doesn't that make you think? Yeah, it's a thinking music. Yeah, so I hope you Latinos out there watching this show, both in America, in Brazil, and Mexico, hopefully you will close out your schools and go 100% remote learning to save lives of Latinos. There's no reason for Latinos to die from COVID in large numbers like this. Come on, let's take steps to save Latino lives, okay? Hopefully, the Hispanic caucus will call for closing down all the schools in Latino areas. I mean, geez. I mean, what are you guys doing in that Hispanic caucus? I mean, geez, saving the lives of Latinos should be your #1 priority. Do you see why you should vote for me to go to U.S. Congress? Because if I were in U.S. Congress, I'll be trying to work to save your lives. I mean, there's all this ideological stuff that doesn't save your lives. You know what I'm saying? Get a perspective. Get a perspective. Yeah. I hope I hope that you will survive COVID. I mean, it's only December, right? We have December, January, February, March, April, May, June, like 6 more months to go. We have 4,000 deaths per day. We may have 5,000 deaths per day tomorrow. In January, we'll definitely have like 10,000 deaths per day. That's like almost guaranteed. And you may go up to 20,000 deaths per day, 30,000 deaths per day. As hospitals they don't have any beds. 100% of people who need hospitals can die. So that's what you're looking at right now. I'm predicting that 3 million minimum Americans will die before June. 3 million minimum will die before June. We're looking at an epic tragedy of our nation unfolding before us. It's really, really sad. And that's why I'm trying to close down schools to save your lives. You know what I'm saying? I want to save your lives. So that's why I'm working so hard. That's why you needed me in Congress. You should have voted for me in Congress. I mean, there was because of COVID-19, there were a lot of mix-ups and stuff like that. But you should definitely vote for me on November 8, 2022. Because you need me in Congress to save your lives. Right? I mean, geez. Who's talking about saving your life except Heerak Christian Kim? Candidate for U.S. Congress of Virginia State District. Really? Really? If you're Latino. You know what I'm saying? Who loves you like I do? Really? For God's sake, I'm trying to save your life. I'm working hard to save your life. I'm, yeah. So, yeah, I hope that you'll be well and that your family will be well. Tell your Latino friends, if you're Latino watching this show, and relatives and co-workers, watch this show. Yeah, this is an important show. I mean, it was created on April 2nd, 2020 to save your lives. So of course you should watch this show every day, right? Yeah. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye.